Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, the content that we're going to talk about tonight is in a post-Bruin decision world. You know, that whole Supreme Court decision that just bent New York's carry laws over a barrel? Yeah, that one. Well, New York was lost, adrift in a sea of infringements, what to choose, what to pick, what would squeak by the SCOTUS decision. And they have released the list of what they're going to do, and they're probably going to pass this tomorrow. Now it's a Democratic-controlled House and Senate and governorship there, so opposition to this is unlikely. But while we go through this, I want to show you and highlight where we've been in other states and how much what they're proposing right now looks an awful lot like states similar to Ohio and of that nature before constitutional carry. This is a shift rightward across the board. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field below. Everything will be linked for your review. And if you think we earned that subscription, we are marching forward with our Second Amendment rights here on a daily basis, twice a day, and we would love to have you join the fold. So if you think we've earned it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified so we get information out quickly. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor who made this video possible, and then I'm going to dive in and show you this surprising list of the New York laws, which might throw you off. Now, today's sponsor is Aventon. Aventon not only makes electric bikes, they make them high quality and at an affordable price. These bikes are manufactured with parts created by Aventon, not a hodgepodge of different vendors, which makes them on another level. With a wide range of models, Aventon makes a model to suit a variety of riding needs and styles. Check them out in the description box below, and thank you so much to Aventon for making these videos possible. And now, let's get into this New York law. I cannot wait to show you what they're proposing. And again, keep in mind where we were with Ohio and where New York is proposing, because this is a very interesting shift. All right. Let's get it. Exclusive. New York lawmakers to vote on new gun legislation later this week. Now, this came out today. They're going to be voting on this most likely tomorrow. So like I said, I wouldn't expect any kind of resistance on this. But check this out. In the wake of last week's U.S. Supreme Court decision that overturned the state's concealed weapons law, sources tell NY1 that state lawmakers have agreed on new legislation they're set to pass later this week. Like I said, Thursday. Under the new law, guns will be banned from hospitals, already done. Schools, already done. Government buildings, already done. Mass transit, that one's kind of iffy, but it's done in most blue states. And places where alcohol is served, sources say. Now keep in mind, the big fear here was what's going to become a sensitive place. Are they just going to ban firearms across the entire state of New York? No, they're not, because the ruling specifically said they could not, which is why you have this written in the actual list of where things can and cannot go. Notice how they didn't add things that were absurd, like movie theaters or sidewalks or taxi cabs. See what I mean? This is kind of broad in scope, and they really didn't add that many more places than they already had. I'm not okay with these things. I'm just saying, understand, these people have the desire to do as far as they can, and this is where they stopped. That shows you something. Other businesses would have to explicitly say they allow guns on their property. Okay, that one is just kind of silly. That's a sign. Okay, fine, whatever. But here's the actual list of what they're proposing. Unlike the state's previous law, the standards for obtaining a pistol permit will be uniform across the state, which is the whole point of why they got in trouble with the Supreme Court in the first place. They had different standards for different people, and it was up to legislators and politicians to decide who was going to get to embrace their Second Amendment rights or not. That's the whole reason gun control nationwide is now on the chopping block because of this. You've got states like California who are digging in their heels and they're resisting. You got states like New York who are the whole point of the Bruin case starting to go, okay, fine, here's what we'll put forward. This is changing on a never-ending basis. We have fights across the board, and we need to pay attention to every one of them. But here's the list. The requirements for a concealed carry permit will include 15 to 20 hours of new training, more extensive background checks, greater requirements for safe storage of gun laws in homes, of guns in homes. Okay, so that first one, 15 to 20 hours of new training, that's much more in line with states like Ohio before constitutional carry became a thing. South Carolina, training requirements. Lots of states have training requirements. Again, my own personal opinion's out of it. I'm just saying they're going and moderating on this from their perspective, right? More extensive background checks. Okay, that's just another background check for a concealed carry permit. They already had background checks across the board for the firearm. So again, we're going away from the extreme far left and you're going to the medium left. This is like light blue or like medium blue. This is not like freaking far left blue. And this last one, greater requirements for safe storage of guns in homes. This is something that was tested and failed in New Mexico. They tried to pass this exact same thing in New Mexico and it did not work, which is interesting that New York picked it up and said, well, we'll throw it in here because we're now the standard of what can and cannot pass, which is extremely interesting. And as I said, it's going to meet on Wednesday. They're expecting a vote on Thursday. Now, the reason that brought this content out is, one, I just want to show you what they were doing to get in, basically becoming in compliance with the Supreme Court. But the other thing is I wanted to show you where they're going and what they're actually confined to. Because up until they actually saw this list, you didn't know what New York was going to do, as I alluded to earlier. You didn't know if they were going to say you can't have it on bridges or on boats or on cars. You can't have it on the street. You can't have it on a bench. Like, green eggs and ham, but with firearms. You never know what they were going to do. But because they actually read the legislation, or the opinion, they have to stay in confines. And they did not add anything they did not add anything to the list here, which is something we did not expect. Now, I'm not agreeing with a lot of these things, but still, my point is, if you look at where they were and you look at where they're proposing now, that is a drastic shift to the right on the libertarian moderation of firearm regulation, because the SCOTUS made them. And that's the beauty of our system. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden. See you later.